The Credit Show podcast with Harry Jacobs starts now.
Got a call from someone recently, I had a note to talk about this, that had filed a Chapter 7 bankruptcy back in 2020 or 2019 or something like that. Said, listen, my scores are still not above 700. I don't know what's going on. And, I've gotten new credit since then, but I can't get my score over 700. And that's a question that I knew the answer to before even looking at his credit. I knew that if he filed a Chapter 7, there were two reasons his score would not be, back up over 700 at this point, several years later. One would be that he never got any credit. He never established any credit after the Chapter 7. And it just, there's no reason for the score to rise if there's no new credit reporting. That's answer one. Answer two is you did establish new credit, but the revolving credit that you established, you maxed out, and you have a lot of inquiries on your credit as a result. It's one of those two. That's it. So I said the same thing I say to everybody. Let me send you an email with a link. Get your credit report pulled. Let me look at it and give me, 10 minutes. And sure enough, I got the credit report, reviewed it, and there was, $30,000 in new debt, and everything was maxed out. Let me explain to you something here, to you, and I said the same thing to this person that called us. Your revolving credit is 30% of your credit score. So you can take someone, and I did this experiment with a friend of mine years ago. I talked about it on the show a few times. But you can take someone that's got 800 credit, and it doesn't matter whether they've got a $10,000 credit card or a $1,000 credit card. If that credit card is maxed out, they will lose over 100 points on their credit. That's how valuable revolving credit is. When I explain that to people that call that don't hear the show or the podcast, they're all surprised. They're all, saying the same thing. That's crazy. How is that possible? Well, that's how credit works. Revolving credit, you've got to keep. I don't care what anyone tells you. I don't care what any mortgage lender tells you. I don't care what you read on Google. It's okay to not have a balance on a credit card and just leave it there. That doesn't cost you anything. You don't need to leave $5 on there or $10. That's nonsense. But at a minimum, have your balances at 10% or below, if you can do that. If they bounce a little bit, they bounce a little bit. It happens. But that's about the place you want them, at 10%. The lower those balances are, the higher your credit score is going to be. I can tell you that. There's a difference in your credit score at 10% versus 0%. That we know for sure.
You've been listening to the Credit Show podcast with Harry Jacobs. If you need assistance with your credit, text CREDIT to 702-778-2000.